Good evening, TC, and welcome all to Terry Currans' weekly football podcast. Steady away. What kind of week you had, sir?
Not good, to be honest.
Okay.
Gabby.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to be strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep going, and love to you all, TC. Before we get into the magic moments, on the group, Dave Hobson posted for his pal Ben Porritt, who sadly passed away. He's asking all you Wednesdayites on Saturday at Hillsborough against Luton, could they give a round of applause for Ben, who's aged 45 and he's leaving behind two children, Daisy 17, Finley 12, and his partner Jodie, mum and dad Lynn and Dick. So I think he's on the 20th minute. A round of applause for Ben Porritt. Dave says Ben was one of the biggest Wednesdayites he'd ever known, an absolute legend and a fan. Went home and away with Sheffield Wednesday, loved them, and I'm sure that he will be sadly missed and loved by all at Hillsborough. So thanks, Dave, for posting that, and I did say that we will mention it on the podcast. So for Ben Porritt, hopefully the Wednesdayites will stand up and applaud the passing.
I'm sure his friends will alert all the Wednesday fans what at the game on Saturday, and I'm sure they will give him a round of applause.
Absolutely. Round of applause for the magic moments. What did you or what have you sourced for us this week too? There's been loads again, ain't there?
Yeah. The one I've sourced, Gabby,
yep,
you'll be pleased with.
Go on, Keshe.
Because it's a Birmingham player.
Yeah, great goal, wasn't it?
Unbelievable, Jeff. You know, everything about it. And it's like I say, to have the cameras at these games,
yeah,
you know, we're not missing any brilliant goal. And, you know, majority of the time we do pick Premier League magic moments, but I don't give a damn. What a goal that was.
What I loved about the goal is as the ball's coming over, Keshe's like set himself, hasn't he? And then he's like just kind of like chesting her up for the volley, and he knew exactly where he was going to put it. And I thought it was absolute. I thought it was tremendous. I mean, it was a.
If you always get your body shape right.
Yeah, and he did, didn't he?
I'll guarantee you. It won't be far off. It'll at least hit the tag. If you get you see, when it goes over the bar,
yep,
you know, you're leaning back.
Yep.
Right? If you get yourself too far over the ball, you'll stub it.
Yep.
So if you get your body shape right and you're facing that goal, not to the left of it, not to the right of it, right? I'll guarantee you will hit the target.
I thought
that's the minimum.
Yeah, I thought, and that's what you do, don't you? You're hitting the target, you're hitting an area, and I thought his technique was superb. So for any kids that are watching technique from a player, watch that strike from Keshe, and it was one of them moments that you look at it in the live game.
It's okay watching it.
Yeah,
you've got to learn by it.
Well, absolutely, you've got to keep practicing, kids.
To be able to put that across.
Yeah.
You know, when you're receiving the ball from a pass, you have to get your body in line. So you're getting your full weight of your body to take the weight off the ball with your instep.
Yeah.
But you have to be facing you've got to be facing the way you're going towards the goal.
Yeah. And I thought everything there, the whole technique, what Keshe done, I thought was superb. And watching that live, it's just, what a goal. And it was one of them. And that's what the magic moments are about. When you see something and it gets you off your feet. And Keshe did. Well done, Keshe.
You can see nearly all the time when you see these great goals, as soon as they've hit it, you know this is on target. And if it's right, it's in.
And sometimes when they hit it and it actually doesn't, you're hoping that it does because you want to keep watching it time and time again. But so well done, Keshe. I've got a few magic moments.
I thought you would, because there were plenty of magic moments.
Strangely enough, yeah. Schmeichel's Arms, and I think it's a great name for a pub as well. I mean, we're going for a pint in the Schmeichel's Arms, but I thought, the way that he keeps goal, I think he's a tremendous keeper. I mean,
He's brilliant.
he's
But his
like his
dad was like
dad.
that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. His dad had that kind of star shape, didn't he? The jumping, his arms would come out, his legs would come out, and he just made himself as big as what he possibly could
I'm
do.
sure. I am sure that
Mm,
I have read or heard his dad when he was a kid teaching him those things. I mean, that's a good thing about when you have played the game. If you can get
yeah.
people to listen to you,
Yes.
you know.
Mm,
Um, and every time I've always found him to be a great goalkeeper. Him.
same here.
I'm surprised that he's never been really at one of the elite clubs. Yes, he's been at Manchester City,
Yep.
right? But they had Joe Arthur already established, and he was finding it difficult
Mm.
to get into that City team. Without a question of a doubt, fantastic goalkeeper.
And also, it's very difficult when your dad is one of the greatest goalkeepers, certainly in modern times, because often, you're trying to live up to that. But Casper's kind of, the way I've seen it, forget about what dad did. This is what I'm doing. And yes, of course, he has picked up things from his dad, which you learn from the masters. That's why it always amazes me why there's not more professional footballers, former players, passing on the skills to the kids coming up. And they have coaches
Sometimes they
that
may
read it
not
from a
listen,
book.
Gabby.
No, I agree with that. Yeah,
Sometimes they may
yeah,
not listen,
yeah.
you know. And it's like anything else. I can remember Jock always introducing Jock to people.
Mm,
And first thing they would say to him was, I hope you're as good as your dad.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But
Mm,
but for me, that don't mean anything. If
no.
you've got anything about you,
Yep.
I would have turned. I'll never forget the time when Brian Club said to me, I'll make you an England player. And I turned around and said to him, I'll make myself one. I
Yeah.
weren't being clever.
Yep.
I weren't being brash.
Mm,
I was just letting him know that I've got my own confidence to do that.
100%.
So yes, I get all that.
Mm,
But, when people say that to the offspring of an ex-player,
mm,
but it's up to them to say, I'm strong enough to be
yeah.
better than Dad, to be
Yep.
better than Messi, to be
Yep.
better than Ronaldo.
Yep.
Now you have to prove it. Don't get me wrong,
Mm.
but you've got to show that willingness and confidence if you're going to be successful at anything in life.
100%. 100%. I'm me, and I thought that he was again superb, Kasper Schmeichel last night. And to be truthful, I mean, Villa could have scored 7 or 8 goals.
Yeah,
They did miss a hatful of chances, but I thought it was a great game, and I thought Celtic played really well for large
there's a
parts of the
big
game.
difference, Gabby, isn't there?
Massive, massive. To play that one-off game, yeah, okay, you can get away with it, but the golfing class was immense. I like Neil Lennon on commentary as well. Like, sometimes when you hear ex-players of a club, there's so much bias and bile. But I thought Lennon was superb, and you could tell that he was really enjoying doing the co-coms, and he was really enjoying watching Aston Villa play. Because I think when Villa play one-touch football and pass that ball through the lines, split the defences like they do, the players are coming off at angles, giving nice little wall passes, bang, and that's how they went 2-0 up very quickly. And I said to Tom, when you play like that, you are a class act. But sometimes with Villa, they just go off the boil. They let Celtic in. And one of my magic moments was that assist from Engels, Celtic's second goal,
If
that little flick. I thought it was delightful.
if I'm honest, Gabby, I didn't see the game
Yeah, it was a brilliant game.
because
Brilliant
obviously
game.
I've been up at Janet's.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I find it because she didn't have
Yes.
sport,
Mm, yeah,
So I have to see things when I go down and YouTube things.
yeah.
And I've been out today to Barnsley to a do at Barnsley. Got back because she's had some friends there. Then I got back and I'm back up here now. So I didn't see much of the game, but anything with football team is consistency.
Absolutely.
using the ball with a tempo, with an accuracy, right? And finding space when you haven't got the ball.
Yeah.
What I mean when you haven't got the ball, I'm on about your team. You've got to be able to stop dangers getting there, right? And the quickest way to do that, the best way to do that, is not necessarily run.
Yeah.
Is be alert and say, right, that's a danger area, let me get in there.
Yeah, just fill the
And
space.
the nearest man to the ball then can go and close the ball down.
Yeah.
You know, I find it very, very strange that our top players, I don't want to hear anymore, just because the top players doesn't mean they're going to be top managers. There's got to be a reason for it. Right. Is it that when they go into management, and that they look at it and think, well, I'm trying to explain to them, and then they lose the temper with them? Is it that? I don't know. But I remember Alan Ball once saying to me when he took the Blackpool job, come and have a look at these. And I spent 3 days with him at his house, and then at the training ground. And I saw him, get angry with 1 or 2 players. And I mean, back then, that's how football coaching was. And I said to him, you're trying to get them to do something you found easy, and you're getting frustrated with it. And they're becoming very, very nervous at trying things. I look at Gerrard today. It looks like he's come to an agreement to leave this team in Saudi Arabia.
Al Ettifaq's in it, yeah.
It's not that I can't believe it. I just find it very, very strange when you've played at the highest level and you work with possibly the best coaches of their generation.
Yeah.
And they just struggle at the game. But I don't think it's the coach, because they all get the coaching badges and they never coach, do they?
No.
Because the first thing they do is appoint a coach.
Yeah,
so
it seems
it's not about
mad,
coaching,
don't it?
it's about man management.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem.
Very, very poor at that.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem, the man management of these players. And I think the Alan Ball example was a great example too, because sometimes when you are a top player and you're managing players that aren't, it can get very frustrating.
I have seen it.
Yeah, and it keeps repeating itself.
This is why I say to you, and I said to other people, why for people with ball in them, they should be working with the top elite players.
100%. Yep.
Right. But like I say to you, once they become managers, and just so they've taken coaching badges, they don't coach.
No.
Pluffy never coached.
No.
Howard Kendall never coached. Jimmy Gordon coached at Forest. He'd have his input, and as good as at Everton. Howard Kendall didn't coach.
Yeah.
He'd have his input. But that would be Colin Harvey. Now Jack coached at Sheffield Wednesday. And McMenemy didn't coach at Southampton. Lou Chatterley coached.
Yep.
So it's about man management.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Some
are managers, some are coaches, yeah.
4 or 5 things. Balance your team.
Yep.
Can you see the problem attacking, and can you see the problem defending? In a sense, who's causing us a lot of problems by not being able to defend, making mistakes.
Yep.
What players are not going into the areas early enough to stop the ball, and what players are not going early into the position where they can cause the opposition a problem. Coaching is a different format to management.
100%. Uddy always says you're either going to be a coach or a manager, and you can't do both. And he's spot on. Different dynamics.
Gabby, I get that. I get that. But
Waddington never coached.
When you become a manager,
yeah, Waddington was just a
manager. You are not the coach. So there's the 4 things I've just told you. You need to get that team balanced up, right?
See, Sexton was a coach and he was a manager. He tried to do them both. Yeah.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
A prime example is Foden. And I saw that you posted up on that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
You put your best players
Mm.
in their best positions.
Yep.
And then sometimes you may have to leave other players out because, regardless what you tell me, I've seen it. I've seen it too many times. A manager will say to a player, I could do you playing here. And I guarantee you, as soon as that manager's left, he tells that manager, yes, I'll do it, because they want to be in team.
Yeah.
Right? They're not comfortable with it.
No, they're not. No.
Right?
Mm.
And I say to you, when you play a left back at right back or vice versa, that is no good unless they've got two great feet. That's no good because you've lost the earliness of the pass.
Yep.
So it ain't about coaching. Because anybody who's played the game knows how to coach. Not everybody knows how to man management.
Yeah, 100%. And
manage.
Exactly. And as a player, he's never going to say anything while Gareth Southgate is the manager. But when he's left, he's asked the question and he's given, an answer
He's
to a
entitled to give his
situation.
opinion.
Of course, he is. Yeah, everybody is. And
he's not all he's doing. Somebody's asked him a question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. He can't say, while Southgate's the manager.
No, of course he can't.
Because three or four things will happen. He's a trouble causer.
Yeah.
Right? He should be able to do this. And why did he say it before? So, somebody asks you a question, give him the honest opinion.
And that's all he done.
Doesn't mean he's right, doesn't mean he's wrong.
No, and that's all he done. He was frustrated playing in the position. I'm looking forward to when they catch up with Ivan Toney in Saudi Arabia and asking him what he thought about Gareth Southgate and the Euros. I think that's going to be a decent read. And finally, TC, hat-trick hero Morgan Rogers, second youngest behind Wayne Rooney in the Champions League, from round the corner from us here in Aylesbury. I think this kid is different class. I think the way he uses
the kid
his
who was at Man City, isn't it?
Yeah, he was, yeah. In fact, I never heard of Morgan. I went into one of my jobs.
I've never heard him until I saw him last couple of weeks.
Yeah, years ago, and we were talking football to the painter and decorator, and he said, yeah, me mate, Babby, he's at Man City. He just left the Albion. And I said, oh, what's his name? He said, Morgan Rogers is his name. I said, oh, I'll look out for that name. And then
he looks a terrific player, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. But he then transferred to Middlesbrough, and I watched him a little bit and thought,
that's
okay, absolutely. But then since he's gone to Villa, he's just looked a class act. But I love the way he uses his body, he's strong, the way he comes off at angle. I just think the kid's got everything. But Jacob Ramsey as well. I thought he played superb.
I've seen him a few times now. I've seen him a few times. And because of him playing on the leaders, it's given him that confidence.
Yeah.
Because he looks hell of a player for Villa, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah. He looks superb, and he fits into the way that Unai Emery wants to play. John Duran, that was a bit mad. 21 going to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I don't think Emery wanted to get. Yeah,
but you know as well as I do, it's money.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
And
good profit for the Villa as well. To be fair,
I can understand it.
Yeah, I can.
And really, all because I'm trying to say is, in today's life, everything's getting that more and more expensive. You've got to get when you're a sportsman, then football or rugby, you can have serious injury.
Yeah,
and that's you finished.
Career could be over tomorrow.
And you never think of that when you're playing. You do. Well, I never thought of it, and I'm sure a lot of players never thought out like that.
No.
It's a different world we're living in now.
Absolutely. So
do I agree with it? No.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if somebody's going to offer you, and I guarantee you, he's been offered a lot of money to go there, a lot more than he would do him playing in England.
He's with Mane.
At this moment in time.
Yeah, he's with Mane, he's with Ronaldo. They're looking to bring in a few other players, and they're bringing them in because they're playing in the Club World Cup. And the Saudis want to make a good fist of this first Club World Cup in America. I think it's around about Christmas time, isn't it? and that's the reason.
Well, how do you think this has worked out then? This new format.
I've liked the Super League the way that they've done it. I know you're not a fan, but
It's absolutely
I like it.
Great. What happens?
Mm.
What's going to happen is now.
Yeah.
Who's Real Madrid play? Whoever Madrid play.
They'll probably play Man City or Celtic.
No, hang on. No. Manchester City play Celtic.
Yeah, so Madrid will play Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah. It's been drawn tomorrow, isn't it?
Listen, Gabby, do you think they're going to be able to sell Bruges in a final or something like that? Or later down the line?
I'm glad you say Bruges, because we've all been brought up with it's Bruges. I keep hearing these commentators going, it's Brugge, and I'm going, who's bloody Brugge?
They do it to wind you up.
It's annoying, isn't it?
So now you've got Bayern Munich and Real Madrid.
Yeah, one of them are going to get knocked out.
One of them's going to go out.
Yep.
Then you got Manchester City and Celtic.
Yep.
Now,
another battle of Britain.
I would say it's impossible for Celtic to win it.
Yes, so would I.
But as a football club,
yeah,
you could sell it.
Oh, 100%.
Because there's 85,000 people there.
Yeah.
It's you talk about Liverpool being unbelievable. There's nothing more exciting than Celtic when it's, they've got all the scarves waving and it's a European Cup night.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you can sell it. And now you've lost two big clubs.
Yeah.
And two smaller clubs are in it.
But again, that's what used to happen in the old European Cup. I'd prefer them to go back to the European Cup.
No, it didn't. Only the winners went through. So you never saw the poor teams in it.
No, but what I'm saying is you lost a lot of elite teams along the way because they got drawn against each other. And this is similar to what's happening now in these playoff games for the last 16. You are going to get some big clubs playing against each other. But I do like the format. I've enjoyed the format.
Well, I look at it and
don't.
I just cannot get into it. My opinion of it, I think it's poor, pathetic, But that doesn't mean I'm just explaining how I feel about it.
Yeah. Again, going back, I would prefer European competition to be knockout games like in 78, 79. Forest got drawn to play Liverpool and one of them had to get knocked out because it was a knockout competition, and I'd like to see it go back to being a knockout competition. But again, like the Saudi situation with John Duran, it's all about money now, and it won't change. And this is just the next level, the next stage of the European Super League. They're working on the formats. We've spoken about the Premier League.
I think the Premier League's going to be finished.
Well, I think money,
the money from the Premier League.
Maybe.
Right? This is how I see it. The money from the Premier League will go into this. I mean, they've told you for years now lies about this game and that game. The training is nowhere near as difficult. The game or the training isn't as difficult as it was back 20 or 30 years ago.
Oh, 100%.
Right? The science of it, the nutrition of it, is all in today's players.
Yeah.
The more players, yet we tire them out with too many games. And then they go and add
more games.
A world championship.
Yeah. But so, again, it's all about money.
Something they're telling us lies about whatever way. But it's they're not telling us truth.
No, they keep inventing more competitions, they're playing more games, the players are getting more money. The Super League is about the foreign clubs trying to compete with the Premier League, because on a day-to-day basis, a pound-for-pound basis, unless the king buys it for Real Madrid.
What complained about all this? Tell me.
The Spanish, the Italians, the French, everybody apart from the English.
Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Absolutely, because they know.
Don't forget the Italians.
Yeah, but even so, they are.
Too. What has Real Madrid and Barca done? They're going to America to play games to raise money.
Of course they will. Yeah.
They get all the money practically. Yeah. They in their league they get all the TV rights.
100%.
Not all, but they get the big chunk of it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, always have done, always will do.
How do they now get where they can get the Premier league money by giving a European or a
Super League.
world champion
Absolutely.
league.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Of course it is, yeah. It's all about money.
And like I told everybody else,
yeah.
get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, sit back and listen, right? Because they do not want the ordinary football fan, the terrace fan, the ground anymore.
Of course they don't, because they want more affluence.
They want them
more
to
money.
go and buy it on television, right?
Yeah.
You can't even go. They don't want to even near the place to go and get the autographs. The football, for me, they've taken it back maybe 30, 40 years. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think again, we talk about this on the podcast every week. The game is changing. The game has changed. You know, it used to be a working man's sport. I wrote a poem, "Give the Working Man Back His Simple Game." I wrote that about 25 years ago, and you know, football has created this beast, and we've all been swallowed up by it. And the ticket prices now is absolutely ridiculous. However, in Germany, it's still quite cheap because there's different dynamics on there. But the Premier League, it really is a league of greed, and that's what the Super League will be as well.
In all our lives here in America, everything is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
They told us lies about us going into Europe. Things will be more cheaper and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Load of rubbish.
It is,
Football tickets are more expensive here.
Yeah.
Cars to buy are more expensive here than anywhere in any other European country.
100%.
Fuel is a lot more to buy.
Yep, 100%.
Right. So I don't fall for it. When they tell us, you know, get vaccinated, COVID's going to kill you. Yeah, well, so vaccines have killed more people than COVID, whether you like it or not.
But anyhow, back to the Super League. You're right, and I think that the Champions League is the Super League, and it's the next stage. You've got the Club World Cup coming up. Football is changing. It's going to be completely different in 20 years' time, and it's just the way it is. We're not going to stop it. Words and terms I absolutely really gets up my nose. Game management, transition, low block, and high press. It really annoys me listening to some of these phrases.
Why do you think that? Listen, everything's to do away with the old football terminology.
Of course it is. I mean, the records are being eroded. It's the new. Yeah.
Well, listen, there's two genders.
Yes, of course.
Male and female.
Absolutely.
And what did they try and push on everybody?
Yeah.
What did they try? He, it, she, they, them.
Yeah.
You know, they could say me football.
Yeah.
Low block, high block.
Transition.
I don't mind.
Oh, it's
I
incredible.
don't mind change. I really don't.
And game management. I mean,
don't mind me with it. I just tell people straight.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah. Anyhow, I prefer the old, and that was a great picture of you and Mick McCarthy the other week. I did message you and say that's closest Mick's ever got to you.
It isn't. I felt his wax at times.
How was Mick, and what was it all about? It was a great picture, by the way.
It was what they call it, Gab. It was an evening with Mick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Sheffield.
Yeah.
John Green put some on. It was very good, very interesting.
Because he's a good talker as well, isn't he, Mick? He's a great character.
Yes, he is. Very good.
Did he tell the stories about you and how he used to man-mark you?
I tell you, it was like a question and answer one, really. Isn't it?
Yeah. Did you know you were going?
What the compare kept trying to get into was Roy Keane, and you know, he gets sick of that.
Yeah, of course he does.
Look,
yeah.
You know, ask me something different.
Yeah.
So, but when he did start asking different things, you know, he was very funny.
Yeah. Did he know that you were going to be there?
No, but we spoke and we, you know.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I used to hate you. He said, well, I said, I hated you, but I couldn't get near you. That's why.
Mick McCarthy on great form. Also, I'd noticed, and I've posted it on all the groups that we've got, TC, your 70th birthday bash at the Wednesday tap.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the day after my birthday. It's going to be on the Friday.
21st, isn't it? Yeah, on the Friday.
Yeah. Well, my birthday is on the 20th.
Yes, it is,
Clough's is on the 19th.
Yeah.
March.
So it's going to be a great event. I mean, there's tickets. If you want to get your tickets to meet Terry Curran, is it going to be a Q&A, TC? What's it going to be like, or are you going to be the DJ and we're going to just have some music
No,
beer and
Nick Johnson's doing it. There'll be players, maybe ex-players. Well, there will be ex-players there.
yeah,
Be talking to them about me as a player.
yeah,
There'll be clips from YouTube, not YouTube, but well, the clips from YouTube for goals wise.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, Videos sent in, ex players who I played with. So
Yeah,
it's going to be a good night.
yeah. It sounds like it's going to be an
And
absolute cracker.
I appreciate them putting it up.
Absolutely. And guys, as I say, if you do want, go on to any of the groups, Terry Curran Football Podcast.
I mean, even that £10 to go there, it's not to do with me for getting money. That's going to the club itself, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's going to be a great night
yeah,
celebration of Terry Curran's 70th birthday. So it will be on all the pages. We will be talking about it on the podcast as well. And it promises to be a great night, reminiscing, going down memory lane and remember the great old days, the good old days of Terry Curran in a Sheffield Wednesday shirt. Book Corner TC. The last fancy down, the Duncan McKenzie story with
oh,
David Safer.
hang on a bit. I've got to say, I listened to that. It was brilliant, and Duncan was fantastic. I really enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, I mean, he's great value, and thanks for setting it up too. Really appreciate it. What a great guy Duncan McKenzie is, and he's got some great stories and a real character. And it was thoroughly enjoyable. I really enjoyed that hour and a half as it was taking a trip down memory lane with Duncan McKenzie. Guys, if you do want to listen to it as TC has and I have as well, you can get it on YouTube or where you access any of your podcasts. Just log into, well, just put into a search engine Duncan McKenzie, Legends of the 70s, and I'm sure it'll come up. But a great read with David Safer, the Duncan McKenzie story, The Last Fancy Dan. Second in the trio of books this week, T. Charlie George, My Story with Alex Montgomery. I'd love to do a podcast, Legends of the 70s, with Charlie George. I mean, what a player, wasn't he, Charlie?
Oh, best player I ever played with. Leave it with me, and I'll try and give his number for you.
Lovely. And lost a finger, didn't he, in a lawnmower
Yes,
incident?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, Uddy says when I talked to him, he said, well, you wouldn't stick Charlie in goal. So it don't really matter as an outfield player if you've only got four fingers on one hand. But, I mean, them 2 feet he had were like magic
Oh,
wands, wasn't it?
he got everything: football brain, pace, strength,
Mm,
uh, unbelievable talent. Again, don't remember he plays him for England. Plays him out left on.
yeah.
They told him he didn't want him in squad, in team. Played him for 6 or 7 minutes. Never got another game.
It's incredible, isn't it? When you look at the players, your Charlie George, your Rodney Marshes, your Alan
All done on
Hudsons,
purpose, by the way.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that when Duncan we were talking and Duncan was on about the Maverick players that they just didn't seem to want to fit him in, and Duncan being one of them as well, of course. And I said, even today, Duncan, they still don't know how to fit in quality players into the English system. And if any of those players would have been of any other nationality, they'd have 60, 80, 100 caps. It's
Yeah.
criminal what we've
And
done
I
to our
don't
star
believe that
players.
myself, yes.
Yeah, it's just incredible, and they wonder why they've never won anything since 1966. And strangely enough, TC Legends of the 70s Lounge, we have put Frederick Charles George in there, born on the 10th of October 1950 in Islington. Charlie went to Arsenal 68 to 75, scoring 31 league goals in 133 league games. Derby County 75 to 78. Was you with him at Southampton? Did you?
I was with him at Derby,
Oh, you were briefly at Derby as well.
and Charlie joined, and I think I was a couple of days. It
I
may
was
have been
going to say,
there.
couldn't have been much, could it?
No, a
Mm.
couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. So he scored 34 league goals in 106 games for Derby. I mean, they had a great European Cup run as well. I mean, what was he? Did he score an hat-trick against
Yeah.
Juventus?
Inter Milan, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
Real
Juventus,
Madrid.
wasn't it? No,
Who?
Real Madrid. Yes, you're right. They
Real
played.
Madrid.
They played in a blue kit, didn't they? I think that night,
Yeah.
Real Madrid. Yeah,
Yeah.
the great Charlie George went to St George's Budapest on loan in 1977, scoring one goal in 6 league games. 78 was out in America at Minnesota Kicks, scoring 9 in 18, and then in 78 moved to Southampton. 11 league goals in 44 games. How many games did you play with Charlie at Southampton?
I didn't. I was only there maybe 2 or 3 days.
At Southampton as well?
Yeah, before I went to what they call it. You know, Charlie
Yeah,
got a bad knee when he Southampton
yeah,
did the same thing with Charlie
yeah.
as what Everton did with Andy Gray.
Right, got ya.
Right, Charlie got a really bad knee.
Hmm.
He's one of the. We got make no mistake. He's one of the great England players.
Oh,
I'm telling you that
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, yeah. But
You know,
when he went,
as a striker, after Jimmy Greaves, I mean, you get Shearer and you get Kane and all. They're not in the same league as Charlie.
mm,
You know, my opinion.
yeah.
Anyway,
But again, it's all down to opinions, and he was certainly one of our greats. In 1980, went to Forest on loan, 2 games without scoring. Went to Blover in 81, 82, played 7 games, and then come back in 82, playing for Bournemouth a couple of games, and Derby County, where he scored a couple of goals in 11 outings in 1982. One full cap in 76 and 5 games for the under 23, scoring once between 72 and 73. The great Charlie George. And the last book in our book corner is 1978, Birth of Moneyed Modern Football by Ryan Foley, which comes out on the 31st of March this year. We have talked about it before in the podcast, but 78 was a great year. And talking to Duncan as well, it was a great year at Everton, although Gordon Lee being there really took the shine off that new ball. But he had a formidable partnership with Bob Latchford and Dave Thomas as well. When you look at that Everton team in 78, they were great. And I think Bob scored 30 league goals in the first division for the first time in many years.
I mean,
78, great year.
I listened to all that, but like I said, the manager wasn't even talking to him.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, it is. I mean, that Morocco story. I was in bits listening to Duncan talk about that. But you can't. I mean, I would say you can't believe it,
I
but you
believe it because
can.
I know what it's been like.
Exactly, but you can because there's so many stories of former players that talk about the managers, as Duncan was talking about Gordon Lee, and as a
Your
fan,
destiny
listen.
as a football player, your
Absolutely,
destiny is in the manager's hands.
it's incredible.
And let me tell you something:
Yeah,
you can work hard,
yeah.
right? Look, if you're not working hard, I get it. I get it
Mm.
from a manager. Well, he's not working hard. I get that.
Yeah, Ruben Amorim, yeah.
But I've seen
Mm,
it where people are working hard and just what they do,
yeah.
it means nothing.
No, because they ain't their kind of player. They're just
No.
not going to pick them. I mean, it was interesting when he was talking about that journalist that wrote, the piece with Gordon Lee coming in. What next for
Yeah,
Duncan
yeah, yeah.
McKenzie? And you just, it does beg a belief. But so many
What
players.
about when he's speaking French?
That in Morocco, yeah, it was great. Ask Gordon if it's the first time he's been to Africa. Africa, Africa.
By the way, he's brilliant. But you said they're talking about money.
Yeah,
We'll offer him this and offer him that. And they may have said, "Well, this is the most we can go to."
yeah,
And he speaks fluent French.
yeah, he does. Yeah, yeah. A very intelligent and funny man, but again, I was in bits, particularly that Morocco story. I thought
I
it
hope
was
you give him
first
my
class.
regards.
I certainly did, TC, and he sends his regards back to you as well. And in 1978, of course, Liverpool won the European Cup when they beat Club Bruges. Kenny Dalglish scored that
Do you know
great
what I
goal.
did forgot?
What's
About
that?
him not getting picked in that European Cup final. I forgot all about that.
Who?
Duncan.
Yes, 75, yeah.
I forgot all about
It's
that.
incredible because Jimmy Armfield, it was, I'm going to pick Don's boys because it's their last chance.
Last year.
And you're like thinking, why would you do that? I mean, they're behind in the game, needing goals. Why would you not put Mackenzie on the pitch? It's just, I mean, it is incredible. But again, football managers, and you're so right, T. If you get a decent manager that can make you, when they don't make you, you make yourself. But if you get a bad one, they certainly can
I tell you
break
what a
you.
manager can do. A manager can
Picture.
help you
Yeah,
because it will
absolutely.
make people
Mm.
believe people this is a great player.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, they can destroy players more than they can make them.
100%. 100%. I mean, you look at Grealish now at Manchester City. He's got to get away. I mean, I can't see him now. 30th of January. We've got the weekend, and it closes on Monday. What is it, Monday the 3rd of February? I can't work out how a January window finishes in February and why they're still trying to get players in now and they've had 30 days. Arsenal tried to get Ollie Watkins in and you're thinking, well, Arsenal have needed a forward for a good couple of seasons now. Why would you wait till a European game and put a bid in for him? It's incredible. But 1978, completely different. No transfer window and Forest won the league with 64 points, beating Liverpool in second place on 57. So 1978, a great year for football, an iconic year for football, and a great year for music as well too, wasn't it?
Well, I think back then everything.
You gone for a tea or a wee?
Pardon?
You gone for a tea or a wee?
A cup of tea.
I can tell when you go somewhere. Chris said to me, I could hear him, he was going for a wee the other week on the podcast. I said, I know, I can tell it goes different, and he's either going for a tea or a wee.
Well, what do you want me? Tell me what you want me to do. Sit there and pee myself.
No, you're absolutely right. Rashford, though, talking about the window, I mean, where's he going to go in all seriousness? I mean, when Ruben Amorim come in, he said he wants a new adventure. Well, not a great thing to say as your new manager's coming in, you want a new adventure. But where is that new adventure going to be? Because with the money that he's on, the only place I can see him going is over to Saudi Arabia. No one else is going to pay what he's on at United, are they?
It's been tapped up. It's been tapped up.
But where's he going to go to? I mean,
Gabby,
he's been on.
I'm sure sometimes you don't listen to me. Listen to me carefully
I
now.
know,
What
but
I'm
he's
going to
had
say
more
to you.
European dates
Listen
than
to me
Paul Weller.
carefully. I get it, and I get it. I
Mm.
understand everything what you have just said to me about it.
Yep.
I listened to Graham Souness
Yep.
slagging off Paul Pogba.
Yep.
And he did look a bad player at times at United.
Yes.
Tell me how many times he played bad for France.
Exactly.
And I know they don't play that many games.
Yep.
No,
I agree.
I'm not stupid.
And he won a World Cup as well.
This Man United team is a poor team.
Correct.
Right?
Mm.
He's been tapped up.
Yep.
He's been tapped up by Barcelona.
But they can't sign him. They can't register.
You don't know they can't sign him. Neither do I.
No.
And I'll tell you what, Gabby, this is what's happened. Don't sign for anybody. We're going to have to get somebody off at books.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
And then sometimes it might not work out because team goes on to be successful, Barcelona, and then they say, well, we don't need you now.
Mm.
But he's been tapped up.
Yeah.
Because, he could have gone on loan somewhere.
Mm.
He could have gone to Italy, to another club, and he would have gone on loan. I guarantee you. Whether it be West Ham or whatever.
Mm.
And he said, no, I can't prove it, but I'm telling you, he's been tapped up by Barcelona.
Yeah. But whoever gets his signature, if somebody does, whether it's on loan or a permanent sale, as a permanent sale, I can't see any club being able to afford his wages. And if he goes on loan, United...
Are you telling me that Real Madrid and Barcelona don't pay better wages than Premier League players?
I don't think they do. No, not for £100,000 for Rashford. I don't think they'll pay it. I'd be amazed.
So you're telling me Bellingham?
I would imagine that they do pay a lot of money,
Right
but
then. So
but
Gabby, they say they don't get the money in the Spanish league, but they take the players out of Premier League to go play in Spanish league.
yeah, I get all that, but I just cannot see Madrid or Barcelona paying £325,000 if that's what Rashford's on. By all accounts, he is. I just can't see them paying that. But I might be wrong too. He might go to Barcelona, but I believe they
Listen,
can't
do you
even.
think he could have gone to Italy? Or was it AC Milan or Inter
No,
Milan?
I don't think they can. No
Hang
way
on,
near
hang on. I'm
afford that.
talking about on loan.
Yeah, but they'd have to
Right,
pay
and that football club, what takes a player on loan, will not pay all that
100%. Yeah, they'd have
wage.
to. United have to
And
pay
West
half.
Ham looked like West Ham wanted him,
Yeah, they'd have to
and
pay
they
half.
come up with a
United.
package.
Mm,
I'm telling you, he's been tapped up.
yeah,
I played the game. I know how it
yeah,
works.
yeah.
I know how it works.
Hmm.
Do not sign your contract. Forget anybody else.
Mm.
We're in for you.
But again, let's go back to his being tapped up. And I'm not saying that he hasn't. You're right, he probably has. But it's still the 30th of January. There's only a few days left. Why ain't he signed for anyone? I think he's going to still be at Man United.
Barcelona, his mind is set on going to Barcelona. Listen,
I bet it
he
is,
may
yeah.
not got there because, like I say to you, if
Mm,
Barcelona go on an unbelievable run,
mm.
then they might turn around and say to I can't guarantee this.
No,
So
cool.
stop saying that.
Yeah, I know
Stop
what you're
being
saying.
stupid.
I know what you're
I
saying.
can't guarantee it. But my opinion of this,
Yeah.
he's been tapped up by Barcelona, not to
Mhm.
go anywhere else.
Yeah.
He needs to get out of Man United.
Mm.
And not in the sense that he needs to get out. He needs to get out because his head's gone.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
His head's gone.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
head's been turned. Whatever. I don't know if he's doing wrong outside the game or whatever it is.
Yeah.
His head's gone.
Mm.
Right? And now when it's not right for you at a football club, you will go on loan somewhere.
Mm.
Right? So they'd have paid him £150,000 a week. Man United are saving £150,000 a week
Yep.
by him going on loan, or West Ham. That's what would have happened. And he said no. It's been tapped up.
Yeah.
And we do know he can't go to Barcelona at the moment in time because they've got to get some money back in.
Exactly. And they can't register the players they've got.
Right. I mean, Man United are trying to sell young players. Work that out.
Well, again, it's this old PSR stuff, isn't
that's
it?
irrelevant. What I'm trying
Pure
to say
profit,
is,
yeah.
what's it going to cost to replace him?
Oh, yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah, I mean, United are an absolute shambles at the moment, a total shambles. Man United, great, David Beckham, joining up with the Dementia in football team, which is good to see, and well done to David Beckham. Again, some player, great player.
Brilliant.
And
Can never take that away from him
no,
whatsoever.
but again,
I weren't happy about him being in Davos, but as a player and as a man, really,
yeah,
I think he's a great man in one sense.
yeah, definitely.
I don't like him being in Davos. Don't get me wrong on that. But as a player, unbelievable player.
Great player, and I would imagine a great trainer. And this is what I can't get my head round with Marcus Rashford, that the fact that Ruben Amorim, and he was having a go at Rashford. I know he was just generalising and saying if a player doesn't put the work in training, he
won't be
ain't going to
playing.
pick. No, won't be picking him. Yeah, I mean, I'm having my 63-year-old goalkeeping coach before him, whoever the player is. But he was talking about. But again, ultimately, no matter what you do as a player, surely you have got to put the work in training.
Yeah.
And Ruben Amorim coming out and saying that, surely that's really bad PR if you're trying to get a
Can I
player
ask you this question,
out the door. Yeah, go
I've
on.
answered your question.
Yep, go on.
Answer my question.
Yep, I'll try.
And I will. Everything you said there is 100%.
Yeah.
Right. What's a manager's job?
Motivate the players.
Get the best out of his players to win a football game.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So what's going on at Man United with Rashford? I'm not blaming the manager.
No, again,
what I'm saying, his job is to get the best out of him.
Yep.
It sounds like looking at this, he doesn't want to play.
No.
He's not going to want to play him.
No.
He's not wanting to go anywhere because he wants to go to whoever. He's got a club in mind.
Yep.
Right?
Mm.
So what is happening?
I think it's checkmate.
Right.
I really do. I don't know what's going on. I think it's absolute madness what's going on there with Rashford at Man United.
You see, the thing is today, you don't have to move, do you?
No, not at all. You don't have
You
to go
know, any
anywhere.
Premier League player doesn't have to move.
No, of
But
course you
when you
don't.
get a Premier League player like him, what's earning that kind of money,
Mm,
he might turn around and let his contract run down.
absolutely, yeah. And he's got quite a few years left on that contract.
And then what happens?
Yeah. Again, great question. What happens? But surely the kid must want to play football and get his England
It's
place
not
back.
like it used to be, Gabby.
No, it isn't. No.
It's not.
How do you
Listen,
motivate
everybody
a
wants to play
multi-millionaire?
football.
Yeah.
Listen,
Mm,
a lot of kids now playing for football clubs are not even playing a competitive game, really.
no, of course they're not.
Right?
No. Yeah.
But they're not bothered because they're getting paid good money.
Yeah.
I'd want to play.
Yeah. But again, going back to in your day, if you weren't playing, you'd be banging on the gaffer's door. If you ain't going to give me I want to go, I want to play. I don't care where I'm playing, I want to play. These players now, some of them, not all of them, but again, going back to David Beckham, I'd imagine Beckham was a tremendous pro that put everything and conducted himself in a way. I mean, I was listening to Roy Keane, Rooney and Gary Neville before we started doing the podcast, and Roy's like, take me out of the conversation. I can't be talking about this. He's a pro. He's a player, and he's not. I can't be having that. And I'm absolutely, totally in agreement with Roy Keane. But again, when you've got all the amounts of money and the riches that they've got, how do you motivate somebody
Well,
that just don't
listen,
want to be
I've just said
motivated?
to you,
Yeah,
I have just said to you,
100%.
check Roy Keane.
Yeah,
He's had a bit of success as a manager, but
yeah,
majority of it has been
yeah,
a failure.
yeah. It has. Yeah, and Gary Neville as well.
Right?
Mm,
So again, I'll go back to what I said.
yeah.
Every one of them will have got a coaching badge.
Yep. Yeah.
Every one of them will have learned off of all the coaches
Yep.
at the football clubs they've been at.
Mm,
Right? When they went into management, the first thing they appoint is a coach.
yeah. Yeah.
Before they sign a player, they appoint one of their coaches.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm,
So they've got to learn how to manage players
yep.
and how to balance.
And again, that's coming back to
And
Ruben
nobody
Amorim.
speaks
Yeah.
about it.
No. And this is
All
the
you
biggest
get
thing.
is
Mm,
top players don't make good, not necessarily make good, but top players on the continent make great managers.
yeah. But going back to Marcus Rashford, I think it's going to be very interesting come Monday where he is actually going to be. We know where his kind of head is at the moment, but where will his body be? 2-0, is that a dangerous score to you? Hear that so many times, and you see so many players, so many teams.
It's
You're
only
watching.
dangerous score
It's
if you let two back in or you let three back in.
But why do they
But
do
would
that?
you, hang on, that's the media what makes that statement.
No, I know it is, but
if you're a player
yeah,
or if you're a manager,
yeah,
would you be happy to go 2-0 up at any mortal time?
I would, yeah, and I'd still be
Right
going
then.
for the third
Are
as
you
well.
telling me players don't or managers don't think that?
No,
It's the media
Yeah.
always say. Now, the opposition gets a goal back, it's 2-1.
yeah,
Now, I can see that bit with the start to panic a little bit.
mm,
I get that.
Yeah.
If somebody says, well, if somebody turned around and said, well, they're starting to panic a bit now,
mm,
and they're sitting back. I
Yeah.
get that. But for somebody to say it's a dangerous scenario to be 2-0 up,
I
what's
find it.
dangerous about it?
I know I find it mad, but again, I watched the Villa. I've watched Villa quite a bit, and other teams as well. And last night they went 2-0 up after 5 minutes,
And then what did they do?
they just sat back and Celtic got the ball.
Now there you go.
Exactly.
What final score?
That's it.
What final score?
I mean, they won 4-2, and they could have won
Right.
6.
And then what happened?
But
When it got back to 2-2, they picked it up again.
yeah, it was pretty much game on. Celtic were
So
really in
now
that
you
game.
can see that.
Mm. But I just don't
Why don't
understand.
the media see
Yeah.
that instead of it's a dangerous scenario to
Yeah.
be 2-0 up?
But
What's dangerous about it?
But I just don't get why you've scored 2 goals. Go and score a third goal. Play on the front foot.
Because you're not in the dressing room,
yeah.
right? And I know.
Mm.
Have you heard of this saying? Game management.
Oh, we were talking about that
Have
earlier.
you heard about it?
Yeah, we do. It really
Well,
pisses
that's
me off.
discourse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In my day,
Mm.
you know what you
Just play the
get
game.
the ball into the corners and waste time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ball goes dead, waste time.
Yeah.
What is it nowadays?
Or stick it in the back.
Rolling around,
Yeah.
killing time.
Exactly. Or
Whether
better
you
still.
not, that is what happens.
Yeah. Better still,
Train
too.
people and educate yourself. You don't need
Yeah.
people on television to tell you lies about anything, because that's what they're doing.
Or better still, stick the third goal in and kill the game. That's a better one. Instead of,
I'll tell you better. I'll tell you as
go
many
on,
goals as you can,
yeah,
and you know the next team you'll be playing,
yeah,
they'll be even more frightened of
exactly.
you.
Well, this is what Bournemouth did the weekend. Scored one, scored two, scored three, scored four, scored five. They didn't
Yeah.
stop, and that's
I
that.
mean, that's 9 goals
Yeah,
against Newcastle
and Forest.
and Forest.
Yeah, and that's the way that they play front foot football all the time. They don't just tail off when they go
And
a
we're
couple of
talking
goals.
about little Bournemouth.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
When I was a kid,
11,000.
it
Yeah,
used to be fourth division.
yeah. Phil Bayer and
I
Ted
was getting
McDougall.
3,000
Yeah,
gates.
it's incredible. Little Bournemouth really are
And I
turning
posted
into
up
big Bournemouth.
the Premier League. Look at the top half of it, look at the
Yeah,
bottom half of it.
absolutely.
And you on about a world champion
Mm,
league.
yeah, but anyhow,
The
talking.
English clubs are going to be, they're going to finish up being at the bottom of that league
Mm,
with no money in it. I
yeah.
guarantee you.
Well, we could, with the coefficient, we could have five in the Premier League next year. Talking about five, you absolutely smashed me last week, TC. 6-2, you beat me. So it's
So
now,
how many did I get a bonus point?
yeah, you got a bonus point for Huddersfield and Bolton. You correctly forecast Bolton to win away 1-0. So you
Yeah,
got double, on the money there. And then you got Southampton, Newcastle, Cardiff Derby, Wednesday as well, and you got Donny. In fact, the only two that you didn't get were Brighton, Everton, and Bournemouth and Forest. You got all the other ones right, and
that was a great result for Everton, by the way. I mean, I did fancy. I did what I fancied. What a draw,
yeah,
in a sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I try to pick it. I try to pick a team to win if I can. And I
Mm.
won't going against Everton. I just thought Brighton are playing well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's a great, two fantastic results for Everton.
But I mean, I mean, he got booked, didn't he, for his celebration?
Again, I've not seen much Gavin because
Yeah.
of
But
you know.
apparently he was imitating being a seagull when he scored the goal. I mean, how do you book him? I don't know.
Listen,
It's
it's
just a
unbelievable
laugh.
the
It
world we're
is.
living in,
It's
isn't it?
crazy. I mean, I just think things like that, it's a little bit of fun. He's taking a piss. Good on him. I like Gilliman and Joy. But yeah, great result for Everton last week. So it's 5-8. Forest versus Brighton this week. How do you see that game going to?
I'm going for a 1-0 Brighton.
Right, okay. I'm going to go for Desmond. So 2-2 there. Everton versus Leicester. I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton. How do you see it shaping up?
1-1.
Yeah. Great result for Leicester, 1 at Tottenham. You just think,
Yeah.
no wonder Angie's going balmy. I like Graham Potter's press interview, by the way. He said this is like Groundhog Day. So what do you reckon about Evan Ferguson then, Graham? He says, I'm not talking about any player that don't play for West Ham. And then they was talking about another player. He said, he don't play for West Ham, does he? No, I ain't talking about him. And the media, they just and I thought it was great from Potter. Listen, if he ain't playing for West Ham, I ain't talking about him. Do you understand? And he said it with
Brilliant.
humour, and I thought it was great. So that well done to Graham Potter. Southampton away at Ipswich, so Ipswich versus Saints, bottom of the table. I mean, it is a 6-pointer, but I don't think even if Southampton win, it's going to do much good because I think they are going to go down as bottom club. But how do you see it shaping up to?
1-0 South Ipswich.
Yeah, 1-0. I'm gonna go 2-0 to Ipswich. Derby County versus Sheffield. I'm gonna go 0-2 Sheffield United. Terrible result from against all, by the way. But yeah, Derby. What
I
do you
think
reckon?
it could be his last game on Saturdays.
I think it'll definitely be his last game if he gets beat.
So I'm going to go 1-0 Sheffield.
Yeah, 1-0 Sheffield. I'm surprised he's still in the job. To be fair, with the run that Derby are on. The big game, Sheffield Wednesday versus Luton Town. You'll go. You'll go, T. How do you see the boys shaping up?
Luton and Sheffield Wednesday.
No, yeah, at Hillsborough. Let's hope that the applaud in the 20th minute for
3-0 Wednesday.
Yeah, for Ben, 3-0 to Wednesday. That will be a tremendous score, and Ben will be looking down on that gladly. I'm sure he will. I'm going to go 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday. Northampton versus Huddersfield. I thought Huddersfield were half decent against Brummagem. To be fair, I didn't
They
think it was
were.
a particularly good
I mean, they
game.
lost. They lost against Birmingham and
Yeah,
Bolton.
mm,
Whose pick is it?
it's mine.
Right.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 2-0 to Huddersfield. They bought that Dion Charles, didn't they, from Bolton? I was surprised they
Yeah.
let him
I'm
go.
gonna go. I'm gonna go one apiece.
1-1. But again, if comes in with the money and he gets a better offer, he's gonna go, isn't he?
Yeah.
And finally, Doncaster versus MK Dons.
1-1.
You're going 1-1. I'm going to go 2-1, TC. Right, thanks for your time. Love to you and yours, T. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you all next week.
Yeah. Love to you and yours. And see you all next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Lovely. And send our love to Jan, will ya?
I will.
Okay. Cheers, mate.
See you. Good night. Bye bye.
Cheers. Ta-ra a bit. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.